Welcome or welcome back to my channel, Dripping Alchemy. My name is Starr. Today I'm going to enter into the space with a neck jumper incense, and it's interesting because I wanted to delve in again as to what neck jumper truly means, and the idea of the serpent leaving was coming forward. So I feel like that's going to be significant for some, but only a certain few. So I'm sharing that in case that is a calling for someone. But I am going to open the space again with a little bit of sound. And I've seen 11:44 on the timestamps. I feel like there is a lot of energy at this time. I'm filming 3 readings, I think, today, back to back, with the connection of the, I wanted to say the super snow moon, but it's actually the super strawberry moon. So maybe there's a connection between the snow moon and the super moon. Sorry, the snow moon and the strawberry moon that some need to look at. Perhaps the last snow moon that we had, or last year's moons at this time. What was going on for you? Because I feel like there is a repeating cycle or a repeating pattern coming up now to be addressed. But I'm hearing that this is something that is happening naturally. And with regards to this moon that we have, there is potentially a lot coming to the surface. There might be a lot of creative energy, but also a lot of frictionless energy that might be coming to the surface, which I'm not even sure is entirely a word, but the frictions underneath are now being brought to the surface so that you can deal with them. So I want to say, go easy, go well. And I was listening to another reader before sitting down, and this idea of masking, you know, sometimes when we need to, I feel like that is something that some are learning to redo, in terms of a matter of safety. And I think that you've had a time trying to understand what that could potentially mean, and you've tried to be as, I want to say, vulnerable and as open as possible. But now you're seeing that some uncertain situations require less of that from you, because I'm almost hearing like they don't deserve to see that from you. So I want to say, be wary of that message, because it's not going to be for all. But I think some right now, it's important that you listen to your intuition first and foremost, above all else. And that is something that I would say generally, but it feels super strong at this time. Not everyone gets to see every side of you, and there is a reason for that. So if you feel like others are pulling on your energy to reveal something from you, it's probably because they want that from you. Does that make sense? It's difficult what I'm trying to put into motion. If someone is trying to pull something out of you because they've seen you give that to someone else, it's purely because they're trying to receive something from you. It's not coming from a balanced space. I hope that makes more sense. So if you feel this energy of someone pulling on you for whatever reason, it's not coming from a balanced space. But this might show up as, what do I want to share? This might show up as someone being upset that you're not the same as them as you are with other people. I hope that makes sense. I feel like that made sense now. But I'm going to start with some oracle today, which is curious to me. And this birthday ribbon wanted to come in again as a reminder that you are the prize, and it was 343 on the clock there. And also this peach moonstone, we've got a lot of real heavy moon energy. 351, 353 is stepping forward, but there is something, this is a whole energy in itself that we're going to come back to at a certain time. But yeah, I'm feeling like it's such fragmented expressions, and I'm having to just trust it, because it's like different spaces for different times, for different people, for different reasons. So I'm going to try and bring it all together. And we've got opportunity with a woodpecker bee and the red door, and I feel like that red door is going to be very significant for some. And we've got another door, no expectations, and the key. That is so fascinating, so fascinating. Inner conflict resolution with the hawk and the snake. And then we've got just trust. And we're going to put one more down on the table. Let go and bury. And that song again, Bury Your Head by Seosin, has been haunting me for days. Unknown gift. Okay. So we've got a full first layer, everyone. And we've got the dragon stepping forward here with unknown gift. So I'm hearing that that's a synchronicity for someone. There was an unknown gift with the dragons. I'm hearing, are you going to accept it? Yeah, see beyond the past. Interesting. So what I'm feeling like there is a lot of opportunity that is stepping forward to many right now. And you are just going to have to trust the process, because speaking your voice right now in certain situations is incredibly valuable, and in others I'm hearing slam the door shut and be completely silent. And that was the energy that I was feeling a second ago. It's like some things don't require you to communicate with it anymore, and this card is significant. Some things don't require your attention anymore, but it's almost like they're demanding that from you somewhere. And I think you can feel this energy for some. And this is not going to be for everyone. Yeah, and I just want to cut cords with whatever is showing up. 5-5, yeah, it's really strongly coming up in your energy. Please cut cords, anyone that is here, if you feel like anyone is attaching themselves to your energy. You know, some people do this unconsciously too. But there is something about, I'm hearing it's now unrequited love. There is a situation that you've now walked away from, that someone never expected you to walk away from. And now they're looking at the situation very differently. But I'm hearing, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back to this. Because it brought you so much pain and suffering at a certain point. So now you're like, absolutely no. And I'm hearing that this is hard for this person. But it's causing you like fragmented energy somewhere, and I think this is why you've been feeling off. And this is only going to be for a certain few. I think this is not even going to be for people that are watching right now. I think that that's a future message for people in the future that will read and receive this video. Yeah, this feels like a future focus. So please do only take what resonates. Okay, I'm pulling from the Rose Oracle held. Sureness of the soil, unseen help, supportive community. Yeah, it's a supportive community that some are missing right now, and that's what's coming back in for you. And I'm hearing that this friction that is coming up right now is to make sure that you can hold this space in community in the lightest vibration that there is within you. Because I'm hearing when opportunity knocks at your door, they don't want any self-sabotage. Your guys don't want any self-sabotage coming from anywhere because of situations of the past. And you know, this might be fears of being hurt. This might be fears of unworthiness. This might be fears of the past repeating. So things are being brought to the surface now so that you can trust. When this comes in, this is an alignment for me, and you'll feel it in your heart. I'm hearing, like, can you feel your heart at this time? Like, what is your heart telling you? Temple of the Rose, ancient power, expression, activation, scarlet codes. And I'm hearing the Scarlet Woman, so take that if it resonates. But there is an energy of this ancestral wound that has been, I'm hearing, plaguing your lineage for the longest time. You've broken free from that. Everyone that is here, there was something very, very karmic about your lineage. And this was a loop in a cycle. And I think when we hear karmic, you know, we always think of it as such a negative thing. But sometimes we incur karma in the most innocent forms. And I'm hearing this, there was an injustice somewhere that created a karma, someone might be cooking a curry, created a karmic loop that it was like it was difficult to maneuver through because there were so many layers to this. And I think some are still going through this phase. And specifically, I'm talking to divine feminine energy here. You know, everything is welcome here. But specifically, if you know that you are in your predominant divine feminine energy this lifetime, there is something very heavily connected to that, your lineage and karma. We are nature, becoming grounded, embodying, living in connection. And I think this was what happened. At some point, there was a disconnect from nature because it didn't feel safe. This feels so deep. I didn't expect to be going this deep. But this feels like at some point, the land started to feel cursed to your lineage. So they gave up on nature and they went to conforming to what was around them. And I'm really seeing like extreme expressions of, you know, slavism and expressions of persecution and expressions of just being held captive by a different time. And I'm like seeing pirates, like that type of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like an expression of how they were living I'm hearing so earnestly, so simply, that was stripped away from them. And they thought, I can't trust the land anymore because I was stripped away from that. So what now supports me? And I think this is where religion inserted itself there. And I don't see that as a negative space, but I think that what was once the original religion had now been taken over, and they had no choice but to conform. And you're breaking free out of that cycle because you see the original blueprint. You understand the origins of, I want to say, nature and magic, and the expression of this is in my bones. And I think that everyone that is here, you are deep enough in your expression to understand when something resonates in your bones. And I'm hearing you can trust this calling. Yeah, trust the seasons, embracing change, cycles of life, transition and growth. And I feel like I can't read words today, which is really interesting. So I think that's why. It's because what you are going to learn, and this won't be for everyone, but what you are going to learn is not going to be taught in the history books. This is coming from your soul. And I think that this is why perhaps it's felt just a little bit fragmented for those that have been 11, those that have been wanting to step forward. It's felt fragmented to you because you're tapping into something that is so inherently deep in karmic binding that it's almost felt so painful to turn back within. At a certain point, you stopped turning within because you were hitting that wound of karma from your previous lifetimes and your previous lineages lifetimes. But you didn't know this. But now that I've said it, it's going to make the most amount of sense to you, and it's bringing it to the forefront so that you can say, okay, like I'm going to go back in, because now I know when fear is coming up. I feel like it's not even fear that stopped you. I'm feeling like this was a block that was put on you because this energy here, whatever it wasn't supposed to reach this bit because it's far too powerful. I'm hearing there's an inversion in some of your spaces still that you are aware of, and you can trust that because where you're going is so pure that the timelines where there feels like there is an inversion or there is too much shadow in a space, it couldn't make its way into this, because if it reached this expression, this would just completely be, ran through all of that. And I'm hearing, what am I seeing? It's like I'm seeing down a tunnel, and I'm seeing like a black thread be pulled through a tunnel. And it's interesting because I had a moment with a black thread yesterday, and now I understand why. It's like it got stuck somewhere to your lineage and you've removed it. And I'm hearing you didn't even know what you were doing, but you've been pulling this thread for the longest time, this invisible thread, but you've been guided to unweave yourself out of that shadowy or karmic expression that was just so dense that it couldn't go with you where you were headed. But I'm hearing this is where you are, like you've been stood on the precipice of stepping into that, and the stepping in is the turning within. And it's almost counterintuitive because I feel like you almost have this inkling that I need to be out, but it's actually a flipping in, and that's not going to be for everyone. So please trust in where you are, because some right now it is about stepping out and forward, but I think I'm going to get to that in the next point in this reading. But this is an expression of, oh wait, there is something still locked so deeply within. I have to go back and get it. And I'm hearing for some of you, you got this key already to this. I'm hearing it's a box. There is a box. You unlocked the heart, but you didn't realize this key had more power in other spaces. You can unlock the doors with this key. You can unlock boxes with this key. That's so interesting. What am I going to do next? Am I going to do tarot? Okay, I'm going to go into tarot. And I want to ask about the people that are ready to phase out right now. There might be a lot of sparks of inspiration and creativity stepping forward to you with this Capricorn. I keep wanting to say Cancer moon, but this Capricorn moon, but I feel like there was a lot of emotional energy stepping forward too. 10 of Swords, 1414, something that you have already walked away from is now coming back around because you're ready to take flight with it. And I'm hearing, oh, what is that? I'm thinking of Disney. I'm hearing hi ho from Snow White, like the dwarves. Yeah, this is something that really makes you happy. And that's how you're going to know. If you get excited by this, it's because, yeah, it's yours. It's yours, and you know that it's going to bring towards you something that is so beautiful. Yeah, and it's taken great depth of healing to be able to get to this space to receive this information. So trust that whatever you receive from here on in, yeah, it's not a trick. For some reason, some of you think that what you are receiving is a trick, but it's not. It's just, I'm hearing it just feels that good. And nothing has felt that good this lifetime. This is so interesting. And I could feel this energy, yeah. You feel like you're being tricked, but you're not. You're just walking into everything that is supposed to be yours. Your life doesn't have to look like everyone else's. Stop convincing yourself that it does. Whoever that's for. Yeah, because you're ready. Queen of Pentacles. There is such strong divine feminine energy here. And I don't want to exclude anyone, but I would dare say that masculine energy isn't in this reading. Yeah, because there is a layer of balance that is still being worked through to come to this phase. And I always want to say that this level and depth of intuition and expression requires a womb. And I know that that might upset some, and I don't mean to, but there is something about that depth that the divine feminine energy can only reach. And I think this is why we have such strong energies of imbalance in certain circumstances, because we haven't been listening to this inherent nature of divine masculine and feminine energies, and we all hold that within each other. But there is something about that depth of the womb that is different. It is very different. 7 of Wands. It's a pulling and it's a feeling that the masculine, you know, can have empathy for and can feel into for sure, but it's never a true knowing. And I really don't want to exclude anyone here, but that's what I'm hearing, so I'm sharing it because I think it's important for some. And maybe this is just to remind you that womb work is so inherently important. And I feel like for the past couple of days I've been going back to practices, not that I forgot about them, but I've just been in other spaces and it was like, no, come back. So that's going to be the second part of this reading, I now realize. 4 of Pentacles. You know not to pocket watch, but I'm hearing be strategic with money right now, because this is going to pay off in the future months and the future years. Keep hold of everything that you have because you're going to need it. I'm hearing you're going to need to make a solid investment in something. Yeah, and your intuition is telling you this. You're going to get more opportunities to create money now, because this is going to help aid something in the future. And perhaps you've just been starting to feel like you've been very frugal of late, because you know that something is coming in for you that you're going to need this money for, and you're going to share this money with others. And these hands here in the 2 of Cups, it's like a community project. You're all going to need to invest in something. Yeah, for the 10 of Cups, for everyone. Whoever's getting divine inspiration right now, you're creating for everyone and not just yourself. And perhaps this is why it's giving you a headache, because it's like you know what you're bringing forward is so much, but I'm hearing you don't have to have it figured all out. You just need to create the basics. It's like you need the basic structure, and then other people are going to fill in the blanks. So if there is like I can do this right now, but there is a blank, 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 people are going to come in and they're going to fill that blank for you. So don't worry. Yeah, the wheel is turning in everyone's favor who has gotten this far in the reading, 1828. And the divine inspiration that you are receiving is this cycle, is this flower of life. This is coming from such a divine space. You might want to get into this position, tree posture, to receive. There's something about putting the body in different postures right now to help you receive. I like going upside down. And I've only just found aerial yoga, and I was like, this is what I needed to hang upside down. But I've always loved tipping my head upside down, right from being little. And I now realize it's because I receive that emptiness when my head's upside down. It's like all the junk gets tipped upside down. So whatever is just coming through me is streamlined. So that might be beneficial to some. But there's something about bodily positions right now and helping you receive. I think I want to leave it here, collective. There is going to be a part 2 and a part 3 that I will stagger out throughout the week again, because I think that this is a lot to process, but I think that everything that I say is such a ping for everyone that I want to give it space and time to linger in. I didn't think that this is how these messages are going to work over here, but it seems to be. So grab your notepad after listening to this when you've got a minute and just write down everything that you think about, because this is going to be, I'm hearing, you know, the next phase of this pathway for you. So trust in your processes. And divine masculines, you know, however that resonates with you, you're going to be in the next video. Apologies within that, but there was something about this needing to be in this raw divine feminine energy right now. But yeah, that was beautiful. Everyone, thank you for being here. Take care. Bye.